Greetings. We are just adjacent to the Circuito Monte Blanco, lovely little 4.43 kilometer track just outside of Seville, and we are here for the dynamic launch of this. Now, this is the Mercedes-AMG GT 63 SE Performance. Quite a mouthful. And I guess with good reason. This differs from your regular GT 63S 4-door because this is AMG's first hybrid offering. So in addition to the familiar 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that sits up front, you have an electric motor and battery pack that is housed in unison with the rear axle. So that sends drive through a 2-speed transmission. So this system differs from, let's say, the Ferrari 296 GTB, which has the electric motor between the engine and gearbox. So this system sends power separately. This is all-wheel drive, and normally most of the torque is sent to the rear axle, but when there's traction is compromised, then of course some is shunted to the front. So this car can drive in full EV mode, but that's not really the point with this car, because this isn't your typical hybrid which is designed to give you an EV only range and reduce emissions. That's not really the focus here. This is well, the official line is that it's a performance hybrid, and it incorporates much of the recuperation and deployment strategy that's used in F1 cars. So what I guess the real beauty of this system is that the performance battery recuperates energy very quickly and then is able to deploy that straight away. So we just did a bunch of laps out there, and actually when we set out on track I had 57% battery power and ended up with more than I started with. So the combustion engine as well as the regenerative braking recharges the battery on the go, so you're able to deploy that on the straights, and then it harnesses when you're decelerating and under braking, etc. So this is a heavy car because this hybrid system adds 240 kilos to overall weight, so I think it's 2380 kilograms all up, I think. So that's probably makes it one of Mercedes' heaviest sedans. Possibly the EQS weighs a bit more, can't really say off the top of my head, but anyway, that's a very different type of car. But what is actually remarkable is that this big heavyweight is actually able to get up and boogie around a racetrack, and I'll put a link in the description of this video to some on-track footage from our fanging session earlier, where I was chasing 5-time DTM champion Bert Schneider. Good fun that was. So getting back to the car, 21-inch rims front and rear, and but this gets bigger brakes. I think bigger than the standard GT63S. I think 420 millimeters at the front, 380 at the back, if I remember correctly, and bigger calipers as well. Carbon ceramic brakes front and rear, and the rest of it is largely as per the GT63S, the standard one. And I guess having driven it also out on the road, what's noticeable is that this car is generally quieter than the pure combustion powered car, and I guess that's because the electric part of the powertrain shoulders a good chunk of the workload, especially when you're just sort of pootling around town. And the cabin is also not dramatically different. Let's see if the key's in this car. See if I can fire it up. So yes, you got this twisty knob for the different drive modes. So there's race mode, Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort, and then what's unique to this car is that there's an electric mode as well. So I think currently unavailable. Okay, this car must be out of charge. So and then the usual different settings you can toggle through there, ESP off, transmission, etc. So yeah, but not a bad place to be inside here. Some very good supportive seats, etc. So yeah, I think I've probably rambled on long enough, but yes, good fun, but it'll be interesting to see exactly how customers respond to this car and whether the price premium over the standard GT63S is something that a lot of customers are willing to wear. But certainly outputs of 843 horsepower and around 1400 newton meters of torque, that is pretty titanic, and I think that in itself will be a sufficient hook for many buyers, at least those with very deep pockets. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.